Hello, this is Ryan from Amnesty, and I will show you Oda Nobunaga. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong. Or Japan. I will show you the victory conditions I'd recommend if you were to play Japan. I'll show you the social policies I'd recommend, and also their two special units, the Samurai and the Zero. So, he has Bushido, which means units fight as though they were at full strength even when damaged. Now that is probably the most unprecedented, best domination victory personality trait out there, because it's huge. I mean, if you have a unit that's been bombarded by whatever, or attacked, and he's at 25 health out of 100 HP, he will fight as if he's at 100. That's huge. If he has huge bonuses on top of that, he can attack somebody, take minimal damage, because technically he's at 100%, so he'll take a minimum base damage, so he'll only go to 20, let's say, and then let's say that unit that you just attacked attacks you back. He will take minimal damage, because again, it's acting as if it's at full strength. So that goes without a further ado. The best victory condition for Japan will definitely be domination, for that matter, specifically. And then, as always, anybody that can dominate in games kind of coincide with scientific victory. Why is that? It's because you will have many cities or many capitals, either one. You'll probably have both, and with that, you generate a lot of science that way. Generating a lot of science will essentially put you all the way to the top. You'll just have to produce that space station, and you've won the game. And then third, diplomatic. He can win a diplomatic victory. It is doable. I wouldn't really recommend it, just because you're kind of bypassing, you have such a great personality trait. Playing diplomatic, it's possible, but I'm kind of missing the point of Japan, I would imagine. With that, you just kind of pick patronage and just ride the wave that way. But there's so many other civilizations that do better in diplomatic than Japan. So really wouldn't recommend it, but it is doable. And then fourth, I would definitely say culture is the worst. I mean, Japan is a place of culture, so it is kind of inaccurate in that regards. But either way, there's no reason you should be playing Japan with one or two cities. Now granted, the units do fight at full strength even when they're damaged, so that also goes on the defensive end, where he will be extremely strong defensively, because again, playing defense, you get that same bonus, so it's very important. So I mean, it is possible again to win culturally, but most of these videos are promoting what their personality traits give you, and that's more or less an offensive personality trait, at least in my eyes, because you can play culturally, but again, you're kind of missing the point, and there really isn't any other bonuses for you to go culturally, and that's why I put that all the way at the bottom. Anyway, now I will show you the Samurai and the Zero. And now I'll show you the two special units, or the Samurai. He'll cost you 120 production or 200 faith. He's a melee unit. He's got a combat strength of 21, a movement of 2. His abilities are shock, and will produce great generals more often. So it is very nice. It's extremely important for your domination victory that you should be going after. He will replace the long swordsman, so he's relatively easy to get. He needs iron, of course, to be produced. So again, when you're fighting, these are the best guys to start getting those great generals and keeping them, or building the citadels to steal some land if that's kind of your thing. I really wouldn't recommend that. I would keep the generals, would amass a ton of armies, and you probably could even launch two-pronged attacks against civilizations. And then his other unit is the Zero, which will replace the fighter. And it'll cost you 375 production as a fighter unit. It's a range combat of 45, a range of 8. His abilities will be interception, bonus versus fighters, the other unit that it replaces, and his bonus versus bombers or helicopters is extremely high. Has air sweep and air recon. So the two important things to take out of this is the bonuses for fighters, because during the era that you're going to have these, you're going to be fighting other fighters. So it's very helpful in that regards. And also bonus versus bombers and helicopters. You'll have bombers during this period as well. So you'll be able to knock out the bombers or fighters. So now at this point, I'll show you the social policies if you play Japan. Before I show you the social policy I'd recommend if you play Japan, I will show you Japan's start bias. Now this one is somewhat relatively what you'll get. Plains, forests, pigs, or truffles as they're called. Now you really won't normally see desert or floodplains playing Japan. Normally you see kind of grasslands, gems, mountains, hills. that sort of thing. So you do see that here. So now the social policy I'd recommend is definitely liberty. Liberty all the way, because you're going to want to expand rapidly, quickly, because you can. Anybody that tries to stop you will just hit a brick wall, because your units are pretty much unstoppable. Now normally I would also recommend autocracy, but the reason why I wouldn't really recommend this is because there's that right there, populism. Wounded military units inflict no, maybe they changed it. You know what? Never mind. You know what? I lied. I would recommend autocracy. Could have sworn that it must have been honor. Let me check. Nope. You know what? They might have changed it. I could have sworn that autocracy gave you where wounded units could attack better. That probably was before Gods and Kings. I'm thinking of something similar. So anyway, liberty will give you increased worker production. You'll get a worker. You also get a settler. The settlers will be produced quicker, and that will do it for Japan. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.